What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going right to a video suggestion. In yesterday's video, I broke down the top 5 quarterbacks that are rookies from the 2021 NFL Draft, put them in their Madden teams, and I simmed the rookie seasons just to see who's going to be the best of the bunch. Thought it was going to be maybe Trevor Lawrence, maybe Justin Fields, and then out of nowhere, Mac Jones went for 40-some touchdowns, won league MVP as a rookie, and when I was reading through the comments, someone said, C4, you should do something like this, but with the Alabama quarterbacks. And what he's referring to is Tua Tagovailoa at Miami, Jalen Hurts at Philadelphia, and Mac Jones, now knowing how overpowered he is, at New England. We're going to do 5 years, and we're going to see at the end of those 5 years who is going to be the best Alabama quarterback in the NFL. Now, there could be casualties along the way. I don't know if Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, well, maybe if Mac Jones plays like he did in yesterday's video, he'll still be there. But also, too, I mean, all those teams, especially Philly and Miami, both are incredibly uncertain whether or not Tua Tagovailoa and or Jalen Hurts are going to be the quarterback of the future. You look at a lot of way too early 2022 mock drafts. A lot of them have Miami and Philadelphia drafting a quarterback in the first round. So what we are going to do here, I did kind of set up the offenses as I think they're going to line up, at least going into next season. So for the Miami Dolphins offensive line, we're going to go Eckenberg. We're going to go with youth. I mean, DJ Fluker's most likely going to play somewhere, but I figure we'll have Jackson and Eckenberg at tackle, Kinley and Hunt at guard, Gesicki there at 85. They got Tua 73. I feel like that's a fair rating. When I started this up, Tua was a 78. I think given his production last season, I think 73. He's definitely not below the 70s. So I'm going to give him a 73 there. We have Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, who signed in free agency, and we got Jalen Waddle, 77, hidden dev trait there at wideout for a 79 overall offense. It's not too shabby. Question the offensive line, though. Now we go to head coach rock, paper, scissors here for the Philadelphia Eagles. Only Eagle fans will probably get that. Offensively, our rating is very much skewed by our elite offensive line. I have Mailata at tackle. I kick Landon Dickerson, our second-round pick, into guard. We have Kelsey Brooks and Lane Johnson. Dallas Goedert. Zach Ertz is still on the roster, and so until he's not, I will continue as such. When you get the skill position players, though, a little bit of a drop-off. We do have 82 overall here for Miles Sanders. Jalen Hurts, 74 normal. I feel like I'm not going to be biased. That's probably where he should be as we start things out into Madden 22, if we're kind of viewing these ratings like that. Devontae Smith, much like Jalen Waddle, I gave him a 77 hidden dev trait. We have Fulham 75, Jalen Reagor 74, and really that is our offense for an 82 overall offense. But generally, worse skill position players than what Miami had, but our offensive line is really good. And that's the fact, is that if Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson come back healthy next year, Philadelphia's offensive line should be top 10 when all is said and done at the end of the year. And now we have Joe Belichick and the New England Patriots here. And, you know, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, okay, we're probably going to have an idea of what Mac Jones is going to do year one, but will he be consistent? Will he be able to maintain that over these 5 years, or things could maybe potentially drop off? So we have Mac Jones here, 70. He was actually started as a 70, went up to a 71 from the preseason, the points and stuff like that, the upgrades. We have White there, 80. Aguilar, 79. Kendrick Bourne, 77. And Jacoby Myers, also N'Keal Harry there as a Canadian. Hopefully he pearls it all around. Offensive line is pretty damn good for the New England Patriots. We have Wynn, Onwenu, David Andrews, Shaq Mason, and Trent Brown coming back from the Raiders. I did regress him, though. He started as an 87 superstar. There's no way he's going to hold on to that rating. So I feel like 83 stars, probably pretty fair for where Trent Brown's going to be. We have Jonnu Smith at tight end. I also nerfed Hunter Henry just a little bit. He was an 87, and I don't think he's still an 87 at this point. Still really good, still a lot of upside, but let's see him, play a full season, get back to that spot where he can get, it feels like if Hunter Henry plays a full 16 games consistently for the Patriots, he's going to be one of those guys that gets you, 50, 60 catches, 700 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns. You have to also factor in the fact that Jonnu Smith is going to eat. And how they'll probably, if I was them, I wouldn't even hate the idea of having Jonnu Smith. Obviously, they're going to try to get back to that 2 tight ends that they had with Gronk and that guy that should not be named. A little bit suspect talking about that guy. But you could also probably move Jonnu Smith into the slot a little bit as well. But either way, you're ranking the offenses. Philadelphia does have the highest rated offense, but a lot of that is skewed by the O-line. Same kind of here with the Patriots. Patriots offense is higher than the Miami Dolphins, but I still think you could be de factoing, at least from a Madden standpoint, the skill position players to the Miami Dolphins. So, without further ado, let's get into year one. We're doing 5 years, Get your predictions in the comments. Mac Jones, know what we know yesterday. Jalen Hurts or Tua Tagovailoa. Year 1, who's going to be the better quarterback? In year 5, when all is said and done, as we get to the end of these guys' rookie contracts, what team's going to pay them franchise money? Which one of these guys essentially is going to get $100 million? Year 1's in the books, and the bad news for all of these teams is that none of them made the playoffs. The Patriots were the best in the AFC, 7-9. Dolphins went 6-10. And for the Philadelphia Eagles, bottom dwellers in the NFC least, with a 4-12 record. Yeah, right, Dallas goes 12-4. That is hilarious. Well, let's look at the stats for all these players to see which, who got the hottest start, even though the team success wasn't there. And Tua went for 3,800 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 18 picks. Way too many turnovers there. He also had 176 rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. So we'll give him 32 total touchdowns for Tua Tagovailoa. Jalen Hurts, 3,800 yards, 28 touchdowns, 13 picks. He also had, 0 rushing touchdowns. That's a little bit weird. But, hey, less turnovers. I think right now I'd be giving the edge here to Jalen Hurts. And then we finish with the New England Patriots. Mac Jones, 4,500. So it's still pretty cheesy. Still pretty overpowered. Mac Jones in New England. 4,500 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, 20 picks, though. That is very high up there. I don't really know. Given the fact that no team made the playoffs, I'm going to side year 1, honestly, with Jalen Hurts. He had the less turnovers out of all the guys, and he secured the higher draft pick for his team, so therefore, I'm going Hurts. Because this is the only time we'll be able to do this, AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Zach Wilson. You have to go down just a smidge to find the players in this experience. 2 at 5, Mac Jones at 6, and then in the NFC, Justin Fields won Offensive Rookie of the Year with Jalen Hurts coming in at number 2. Look at the draft recaps here, almost just to kind of for this experience, for this video, focus on what's helping out our offense. And the Patriots went all in to help out Mac Jones. In the first round here, they got Matthew Hundley, 78 hidden dev wide receiver from North Carolina with 98 speed. And in the second round, they got Eric McMillan, running back from Arizona State, 77 normal dev. Looking at the rest of the teams here, the Philadelphia Eagles went defensive end because that's what they do. They did grab a 71 left tackle, Josh Smith, 70 overall running back, Antonio Morgan. Miami Dolphins went at tight end, Denzel Peters from Penn State, 73 normal. They got Thurston, 70 normal. But yeah, easily the Patriots going all in to try to make the most out of their Alabama quarterback situation, more so than the Dolphins and Eagles. And at the end of year 2, we have our first playoff team, and it's my Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles win the NFC East 11-5, just to show that I'm not going to be sandbagging and forcing wins. This is authentic. An incredibly hot start for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-0. 8-1 at the bye for Philadelphia. Very happy with that. As you can see, unfortunately, still no playoffs. That division right now, so far through 2 years, is run by Zach Wilson. Patriots 8-8, Dolphins at 6-10, which is surprising given the fact that the Patriots kind of went all in on the skill position players. Jalen Hurts is up to a 79, still stuck on a normal dev. Let's see here. Let's just go to the overall stats. I'm pretty sure I can peep the overalls there. Jalen Hurts this season, 3,700 yards, 31 touchdowns, 9 picks. Also had 245 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. So 36 tutties here for Jalen Hurts on the Patriots. Mac Jones went for just 1 yard shy of 5,000, 37 touchdowns, 11 picks. He is now up to an 84 overall, or 82 technically, with a star dev trait. And then Mr. Tua Tagovailoa, still struggling a little bit. 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, 16 picks. 2 rushing touchdowns. I didn't check Mac Jones rushing touchdowns, but probably didn't get many. Tua is now up to an 81 with a star dev. So I would say through 2 years, you probably, statistically this season, maybe you give the nod here to Mac Jones. But the fact that Jalen Hurts right there with touchdowns, if you throw in the rushing touchdowns, and his team made the playoffs, I'm shocked. I honestly thought Jalen Hurts would be the worst out of all the quarterbacks here. And through 2 years, it's Philly and Jalen Hurts that's leading the race of our 3 Alabama quarterbacks. I have to say, though, in the MVP race, Mac Jones coming in at number 2 overall. Offensive Player of the Year, Mac Jones at number 2. Still not seeing any Tua which is unfortunate. Maybe if you go to quarterback, Mac Jones was at 3. Tua's still not there. And at least in the NFC, we got at Offensive Player of the Year, you got to be on here somewhere, Jalen Hurts coming in at 6. And then for best quarterback, Jalen Hurts is, what, 9? That doesn't make sense. You're doing the same, unfortunately, for the Eagles. One and done in the playoffs, losing in overtime to the San Francisco 49ers, 33-27 in this game. Jalen Hurts played a clean game. Wow, Jimmy Garoppolo played over Trey Lance. Awesome. But Jalen Hurts, 300 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 8 rushing yards, just wasn't good enough. Draft recap from Season 2, seeing who's getting the help here. Not as much help for the Patriots. Went really heavy on the offensive side of the ball in the last draft. For the Dolphins, let's see, they went and get a new guard, Chris Rogers from Utah, 70 normal. Left, not bad players, Scott, that's a good value. But in terms of, like, who's going to help these guys next year immediately, it's looking like Philly finally actually gets a corner that I'm happy to see. Woodson, 76, but that's not really going to help out Jalen Hurts. We'll say in the 5th round, getting a 70 overall wide receiver, Central Michigan, Luke Bass, ain't too bad, but really no big-time movers for either one of these teams from free agency. So now as we gear up for year 3, quick refresher of what the offenses look like for these players. No real drastic changes here for the Patriots. Mac Jones is up to a superstar dev now, 82 superstar. Hundley, who they drafted, is probably going to be the best addition to all 3 of these offenses, but the Patriots right now rocking with an 82. Philly's offense, same kind of deal, looks kind of the same. Surprise no dev trade increase for Hurts or Devontae Smith. The Dolphins went from on paper having one of the best offenses to like, well, their O-line's not really developing. You still have Gesicki and, the skill position guys, but they've peaked. Jalen Waddle, 84 star, and Tua's sitting there at an 81 star. So I think, probably Mac Jones with his statistical performances going up to the superstar dev, probably trending the most in the right direction, but until he can be dethroned, Jalen Hurts, through 2 seasons, is winning this battle. Year 3 for all quarterbacks was pretty goddamn bad. Patriots at one point were 1-6. They finished the season 6-10. Dolphins last place in the AFC East. And then in the NFC East, Philly went from making the playoffs to last place in the NFC East. So through 3 years, maybe none of these Alabama quarterbacks are particularly happy with where they're at in their careers. But so far, none of these teams, I'm letting the team auto draft. They haven't been placed yet in the draft and or free agency. Mac Jones, 4,400 yards, 34 touchdowns, 16 picks, and he is up to an 85 overall. Looking at Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, 3,600 yards, 22 touchdowns, 8 picks. No rushing tutties this year, so that is definitely a slightly disappointing season. He's up to an 81 overall and cannot get himself a dev trait, unfortunately. And Tua, 3,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 picks. Also had 200 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Either way, from this standpoint, because all the teams kind of suck, I'm going to give it to, clearly, Mac Jones, because at least he had the stronger statistical season. Draft recap, and maybe the Patriots tried to replace Mac Jones, grabbing Will Edwards out of Clemson. They get a stud in the 4th round, Tyler Steele from Wisconsin. Another good running back there, but not a lot of help to give Mac Jones from the draft. Looking at Miami, still have yet to try to replace Tua. They got a 2nd round wide receiver, Mayo from Duke, 71 normal, not too bad. Philadelphia, still have not tried to replace their quarterback either. That's a pretty garbage draft from the Philadelphia Eagles. Classic Howie Roseman. Let's get into year 4. And at the end of year 4, finally another team makes the playoffs with a 10-6 record. The New England Patriots have punched their ticket home. Dolphins, bottom dwellers in the AFC East there. Philadelphia in the NFC East. It was the NFC least. Peak NFC least. Somehow the only team when everyone's tied at 8-8 that did not make the playoffs, which is kind of lame. Looking at the stats here for all these QBs before we go on this Patriots journey. Mac Jones, again, dominating the sim. This is the best year that any of these quarterbacks has had. 4,700 yards, 43 touchdowns, 15 picks, and makes the playoffs. I don't see any way that Jalen Hurts and or Tua is going to beat that. Tua, 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 picks. Jalen Hurts, 3,700 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7. Actually, not a bad year from Jalen Hurts. But as we finish year 4, I think it's the first 2 years went to Jalen Hurts. Second 2 years have gone to Mac Jones, and Tua's still very much on the outside looking in. So let's from there. Actually, we can look at the ratings. We'll look at the ratings, and then we'll go on a run here with the Patriots. So Mac Jones is up to a 89 overall, 90 with the morale boost superstar. Tua Tagovailoa is up to an 86 overall with that star dev. And Jalen Hurts is a 83 normal dev. We have our first playoff victory for this little experiment. 31-28, the Patriots knock off the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow, with Mac Jones going for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Oh no, it's happening. Belichick found his guy again. They beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs 21-14 and really dominated till the fourth quarter where they gave up 14 points. Mac Jones, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Outduels Patrick Mahomes as they go to the AFC Championship game. Mac Jones was able to outduel Trevor Lawrence 28-21. Clean performance from Mac Jones, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, which sets up a Super Bowl against the 8-8 Dallas Cowboys. And somehow, shockingly, the 8-8 Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl. I don't think I'm ever saying that with their current regime, but they beat the Patriots here 17-14. I like seeing that. Keanu Neal wins Super Bowl MVP. You also can see Trey Lance, MVP of the league, there for the San Francisco 49ers. For our final draft recap as we gear up for year 5, Patriots helped out Mac Jones, getting a second-round wide receiver, Darnell Harris, 70 overall normal dev trade, but overall not a crazy draft. Philadelphia, classic Howie Roseman, gets a Southern Utah wide receiver bust in the first round. We get a 70 running back, Joe Ball from Notre Dame. That's actually not too bad, 70 with a hidden dev trait. And then the Miami Dolphins go D-tag, they go defense. They do bring in a center, Andrew Irwin from Ohio State, 72 normal. But other than that, I mean, the positive is that we made it through this whole little experiment without any of the teams drafting the replacement. Final year, 5th year. I do kind of think it's worth and just interesting to look at the makeup of the teams now that we are 5 years in. Both sides of the ball. Offensively, for the Patriots, we'll start there. Offensive line remains essentially the same. Really, in the skill position, Hundley has been the best draft pick out of any of these 3 teams. He's up to a 91 superstar. They brought in Tony P at running back. Mac Jones now up to a 90 superstar X Factor, which again, if we saw yesterday's video, not necessarily surprised. I mean, he was probably the front runner to be the best out of these 3 quarterbacks in the experience. Christian Barmore's still there. Ronnie Perkins is there. Gilmore's still doing his thing. Fairly suspect-looking linebacker core here for the New England Patriots. But they've had the most success there in 81 overall entering year number 5. Philadelphia. See what the Eagles are doing. 85 overall. 85s across the board. So that's kind of cool. On the offensive side of the ball, Mailata, Dickerson, Brandon Brooks is still there. But you can see, center and right tackle haven't replaced Kelsey, even though that's kind of Dickerson. Or Lane Johnson. Goddard's still doing his thing. We had Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders. Rager has not got up a dev trade. Neither has Jalen Hurts. And, whoa, okay, they signed. I mean, it wasn't the reason why I didn't modify Chase or anything like that. They're not in the video, but definitely a cool signing. And if there was a video involving Jamar Chase, I would have modified the rating because he probably is going to be pulling a superstar dev, I would think, in the rookie ratings. But we'll just keep it as is for this video for the sake of it. But hey, they signed Jamar Chase in free agency. Must have just been this year, right? Defensively, Burnett, Cox are there. We have McLeod, superstar dev, D-end. Darius Slay still doing his thing. Avonte Maddox. We have Zaven Collins, outside linebacker, signing him away from the Arizona Cardinals. Surprise. Cardinals and the Bengals didn't pick up either of the options. Eric Wilson, 84 superstar X Factor. That's kind of cool. That's a solid team. Philly might have the best team out of all 3. And then finishing up here with the Miami Dolphins, they are 83s across the board. So 2 points below Philadelphia, 2 points ahead of the New England Patriots. Tua is an 86 star. Jalen Waddle, 89 superstar. Still have Gaskin, Parker, Fuller. Offensive line, Eckenberg, Kinley, Hunt. New center and right tackle. Gesicki, a 90 overall. On the defensive side of the ball, front 3, Davis, Christian Wilkins, Agba. We got Byron Jones, 90 superstar. Xavier Howard still doing their thing. Nothing too crazy. Jalen Phillips, 80. Yeah, I mean, hey, I would love it. It's, in my opinion, it could be your guys' different opinion here, but I think it's 2-2. First 2 years went to Jalen Hurts. Second 2 years went to Mac Jones. Everything to play for. And hey, it would be nice maybe if Tua could play spoiler here in year 5 and get himself one respectable year. Let's go. Year 5 of the Alabama quarterback experience and experiment. And on the 5th and final year, I think very anticlimactic. Dolphins bottom dwellers again. Patriots 7-9, didn't make the playoffs. And then over on the NFC side, Philadelphia bottom again. Madden did not like the Alabama quarterbacks, I guess, when all is said and done. Outside of, really big passing numbers from Mac Jones. From a team success standpoint, neither one of these teams is overly impressive. Mac Jones, 4,900 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, 7 picks. So from a team success standpoint, all these quarterbacks underwhelming. From individual passing numbers and stuff like that, Mac Jones has been very good. Jalen Hurts has been pretty good. Tua's been average. But let's see. Final years for Jalen Hurts. Not a great year. 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, 10 picks. Also had 250 and 2 on the ground. And Mr. Tua Tagovailoa, 3,600 yards, 28 touchdowns, 18 picks. Also was able to get 100 yards, 101 tutty. I mean, now that it's all said and done, I think, not surprising, I don't think. We're going to have to give it probably to Mac Jones, 3-2 over Jalen Hurts, and a goose egg for Tua Tagovailoa, as Mac Jones did get up to a superstar X Factor, led his team to, obviously, a Super Bowl run and a Super Bowl appearance. But through 5 years, 23,000 passing yards for Mac Jones, 177 touchdowns to 69 interceptions. Looking at, I guess we should look at the rushing numbers, even though it's probably going to be kind of underwhelming. 3 rushing touchdowns. So I guess we'll say he's 180 tutties. 180 tutties for Mac Jones. Looking at Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, 18,000 passing yards, 138 touchdowns, 47 interceptions. He also has only 1,200 yards, 7 rushing touchdowns. So we'll just round it up. Make it simple numbers. 150 touchdowns for Jalen Hurts, so clearly statistically falling below Mac Jones. And then Tua Tagovailoa, 18,000 passing yards, 131 touchdowns, 69 interceptions. Also was able to get around 1,000 yards, 11 rushing touchdowns. So really a lot more in line with Jalen Hurts statistically. I would give the slight edge to Jalen Hurts. But ultimately, for this video, it's kind of what you would have expected if you watched yesterday's video. Mac Jones in the Patriots offense is incredibly overpowered. Hopefully they adjust the sim, tweak the playbooks, or however, add tendencies. However, like some of these things that probably shouldn't happen. I don't want to disrespect Mac Jones, but come on. We saw this with Cam Newton. Cam Newton was always crazy in Madden 21 sim, and it's just rinse and repeat here with Mac Jones. And hopefully it's a little bit different. It'd be just lame again next year if the Patriots and the Chicago Bears are just going to be super, super overpowered in the sim. And then again, it kind of goes back to the whole copy and paste Madden thing, where it's like, come on, at least if you're going to have OP teams in the sim, at least shuffle it up every couple years. But, we all know some of the fans that work on this game seems a little suspect. Patriots, Cowboys seem to be good every year. And the ratings team is Patriots, Cowboys. Either way, experiment is done. Mac Jones is the winner. Does it line up with what you thought before the video? I guess if you didn't watch yesterday's video, then come on. Are you really a real one for a C4 YouTube channel? But if you didn't, maybe you would have inclined to maybe Tua, putting it all together, go on the outside, a super underdog bet with Jalen Hurts in that normal dev trade. But when all is said and done, the best of the 3 Alabama quarterbacks, at least here in Madden 21, over 5 years, goes to Mac Jones, 3-2 over Jalen Hurts. That'll do it for me today, guys. Let me know if you have any other video ideas like this that I can utilize in Madden 21. Doesn't have to kind of revolve around the 2021 draft class, but if it does, that also could be kind of cool. We could do wide receiver comparison, something like this, running backs, edge rushers, whatever you want to see, I will do in the comment section below. But thank you guys for watching. As always, first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Would love to hit 150,000 subs on the channel before Madden 22 drops. Leave a comment, smash the like button, helps the videos in the YouTube algorithm. I'll see you guys back here on the next one. Thanks for watching, and peace out.